In the history of the IndyCar series, Paul Tracy was one of its best drivers. In a career that lasted from 1991 to 2011, he won 31 races in the 2003 championship. In fact, Tracy won at least one race in 11 seasons. However, I think that a much lesser known part of Tracy's career was his involvement in NASCAR. Rumors of Tracy participating in NASCAR started in 2005. That August, he tested a Cup Series car for Richard Childress Racing at Michigan. The team considered entering Tracy for the upcoming race at the track between Tracy's IndyCar races at Denver and Montreal. Ultimately, they did not enter Tracy, and future participation with him did not occur. In December, Tracy tested an ARCA Racing Series car at Daytona for Fast Track Racing Enterprises. Tracy stated that he intended to compete part-time in the NASCAR Sportsman Series in 2006 for Biaggi Brothers Racing and would then compete full-time in NASCAR in 2007, which could include Cup Series appearances. In January 2006, Tracy announced that he would compete in 5 Sportsman Series races with Frank CC Racing. By doing that many races, or a lesser amount, Tracy remained eligible for the Rookie of the Year award for a future season. This would be done while Tracy still competed full-time in IndyCar for Foresight Racing. Even though 21 of Tracy's 30 IndyCar wins to that point were on road courses or street circuits, the only NASCAR road course race Tracy was confirmed to be doing was Mexico City, where he won the 2003 IndyCar race. Tracy was known for his aggressive driving style in IndyCar. Perhaps this could translate well to stock car racing, where the cars are less fragile. Tracy's first race of the season was the Daytona season opener. Of the race's 43 starters, 7 of them had IndyCar experience. Tracy himself qualified in 37th place and was the only driver in the field from outside of the United States. He is from Canada. Towards the end of lap 39, Paul Menard, Jason Leffler, and Carl Edwards made contact directly ahead of Tracy, starting a larger crash. However, Tracy was not affected. When the race restarted from the caution period for that crash on lap 45, Tracy was in 9th place. As lap 47 started, Tracy was on the inside line in the lead pack. By the end of the lap, he was running 10th. The next lap, Tracy was right behind fellow IndyCar winner Johnny Andretti. Suddenly, Tracy spun out in turn 4 and his car went up and down the track banking and made light contact with the outer wall, damaging the bodywork of the car. Joe Nemechek and Stedman Marlin were also involved in the crash. Andretti had made contact with Tracy, causing him to lose control. Greg Biffle barely avoided Tracy. After returning to the race, Tracy hit the wall again, and his car started to smoke on lap 57, likely from his tire rubbing against the bodywork. Race officials penalized Tracy for this. There would be 4 additional crashes. Tracy avoided each of them and finished his NASCAR debut in 24th place on the lead lap. Tracy's next race was the 3rd race of the season, Mexico City. This time he raced for Biaggi Brothers rather than CC. Tracy started in 23rd position. By lap 9, Tracy had gone to 8th place. After increasing his position for a time, Tracy was 9th on lap 23 of 80. Around this time, he was being challenged by Jorge Gogers. As Tracy made a pit stop with 36 laps remaining, he was in 4th position. With 26 laps remaining, Kyle Busch and Michel Jourdain Jr. collided and spun while battling for the lead, causing a larger crash. In this, Tracy rear-ended somebody else and badly damaged the front of his car. Following the restart from that caution period on lap 56, Tracy was getting passed and his car was smoking. He was then penalized. Afterwards, Tracy retired from the race with an engine failure and finished 37th. Tracy's 3rd race of the season was at Las Vegas, where he had started 2 IndyCar races, but only had a best finish of 17th place in 2005. For the NASCAR race, Tracy qualified in 32nd position. Unfortunately, he was not a factor in the race and finished 6 laps down in 36th. With there being a more than month gap between the IndyCar races at Long Beach and Houston, CC and Tracy announced that they would be competing in an additional Sportsman Series race, Talladega. There, Tracy started 32nd. Early in the race, he remained in that general part of the field. By lap 55, Tracy went off of the track due to a mechanical issue. Eventually, he returned to the race and finished 18 laps down in 35th position. Tracy's next series race was at the 2nd Daytona race. The day prior, he competed in the IMSA Sports Car Championship race at the track. Tracy qualified in 35th, not counting drivers who moved to the rear of the field, and by lap 21, and increased 12 positions to get into 21st place. With 54 laps remaining, Tracy made a pit stop. However, he had a long stop that involved his crew having to put Tracy's car back onto its jack stand. This pit stop sequence was interrupted by a caution time for debris that started on lap 56. Then, in turn 4 with 40 laps remaining, there was a major crash that involved Tracy. Johnny Sauter and Reed Sorensen made contact and Sorensen got into Tracy, who lost control. The CC team made repairs to Tracy's car and he finished in 28th place, 2 laps down. Although Tracy was scheduled to compete at Claremont for CC, the next Sportsman Series race Tracy did in 2006 was Fontana. He had started 6 IndyCar races there from 1997 to 2002, getting a best finish of 14th in 1998. For the NASCAR race, Tracy started it from 37th place. Exiting turn 4 on lap 45, Tracy spun towards the inside of the track but continued. Unfortunately, on lap 93, Tracy was involved in a crash with J.J. Yaley and David Reagan. This caused Tracy to finish his final race of the season in 42nd. For 2007, Tracy planned on competing part-time again in the Sportsman Series with Raleigh DeHaan Motorsports, this time. However, Tracy instead decided to concentrate on his IndyCar season with foresight. After the rival IndyCar racing sanctioning bodies, the Indy Racing League and Champ Car, where Tracy mostly competed, agreed to merge in February 2008, Forsythe decided not to compete in the combined series outside of the Long Beach race that used old Champ Car equipment. Tracy only competed part-time in IndyCar in 2008. Besides doing the aforementioned race for Forsythe, he also drove at Edmonton for Vision Racing. Tracy did, however, consider a return to NASCAR. Initially, he was interested in competing at the Sportsman Series race at Montreal. After testing a NASCAR Truck Series vehicle for Germain Racing at Chicagoland in May 2008, Tracy announced that he would compete in that series with them at Texas in October. For his series debut, Tracy qualified in 22nd place out of 34 starters. On the second lap, he avoided a multi-truck crash. On the 15th lap, Max Pappas and Eric Darnell got together. As drivers ahead of Tracy applied their brakes, he rear-ended Shelby Howard. By this point, Tracy was in 10th place. After the race was restarted on lap 20, Tracy battled for the 10th position with championship leader Johnny Benson Jr. The following lap, Benson got past Tracy and Chad McCumbee started to challenge Tracy. After McCumbee got past Tracy, the latter remained on the inside line of a pack of drivers. By lap 36, Tracy had dropped to 15th place and Matt Crafton was attempting to get past him. As the two battled for position, they led a group of drivers. 9 laps later, Donnie Leo went to the inside of Tracy. Eventually, he got past Tracy. Afterwards, Kyle Busch attempted to lap Tracy and Rick Crawford as Ron Hornaday Jr. was challenging Busch. Turn 3, Busch and Crawford moved upwards, which caused Tracy to do the same thing and lose momentum. On lap 75, Tracy was directly ahead of Scott Speed, Hornaday, and Benson, but as a lapped driver, Hornaday got around Tracy, Speed doing so soon later. On the 78th lap, Benson lapped Tracy, who was running 19th, 2 laps down. Then, on lap 82, David Starr and Brendan Gaughan went below Tracy, who seemed to be struggling. Following a restart 17 laps later, Tracy was second of the lap drivers, but he was unable to get a lap back. Following the lap, Tracy was off the pace. Eventually, he finished 3 laps down in 20th place. For the rest of 2008 and into 2009, Tracy was not rumored to be continuing with NASCAR. He concentrated on IndyCar from 2009 until 2011. Later, Tracy returned to stock car racing by competing in the SRX series, starting when the series itself started in 2021. He got a best finish of 3rd at Stafford in 2022. The same season, Tracy got his best championship ranking, 6th. The next season, Tracy intentionally crashed Joseph Newgarden at Pulaski County and various other drivers got involved in the crash. As a result, SRX suspended him indefinitely before the league collapsed. In all, Tracy started 7 NASCAR National Series races in 2006 and 2008. He had just 2 starts inside the top 25, 23rd at Mexico City in 2006 and 22nd at Texas in 2008. Meanwhile, Tracy's only top 20 finish was the 20th at his final race. With all that being said, Tracy did have some good runs at the Daytona races and Mexico City, where he was involved in crashes mostly due to bad luck. In all, Tracy was involved in crashes in 4 of his NASCAR races. Since Tracy did only compete part-time in IndyCar from 2009 to 2011, I am somewhat surprised he did not attempt any other NASCAR National Series races, not even their Canadian events at Montreal and Motorsport.